while financial literacy has been ranked as the biggest barrier for female small business owners ahead of cash flow and inflation. That's according to new research, which has highlighted gender disparity. Joining me now live is Head of Accounting at Intuit Quickbooks Australia, Shaye. Shaye, thank you so much for joining us on the program this afternoon. Firstly, how would you define financial literacy?
So financial literacy is what I think of as a baseline understanding of the things we need to know as humans to run our life in a world that is powered by financial things, so capitalism, those basic kind of things. So I think of it in the traditional sense, which might be P&Ls, balance sheets, those very accounting-y concepts, but also, the things we need to know to run our households as both men and women living within our households.
Look, this research is fascinating because the majority of females believe that this is the biggest barrier for them, and 90%, which I found quite interesting, believe that financial literacy actually affects their ability to scale their businesses. So what are some of the factors behind financial literacy being such a prominent concern for women in this space?
Yeah, so I think we are always concerned about any barriers and any challenges that women have that surround their participation in the economy. Last year, we saw the Household Income and Labour Dynamics report told us that we actually have quite a serious issue of declining financial literacy for men and women, which is a bit of a worry given the environment that we do live in. I think what that is also showing us is that for Aussie women, we actually now have the second highest gender financial literacy gap in the G20 countries. It's actually a real concern, particularly as we are seeing small businesses. At least 1 in 2 new small businesses are being started by women or being led by women.
It's a real concern, and they're just astonishing statistics. What sort of an impact is this gap having on female small business owners in the country?
Yeah, so most people, men or women that go into small business, they don't do it because they feel particularly confident about running the business side of things or that they love the financials. They go into business because they are, they're passionate about something or they have an opportunity to do something with their day job that they're really excited about. And so it can be really, really challenging if we don't have a really solid baseline around our financial literacy. We see challenges around working out how much capital we might need to expand and scale within our businesses, understanding, if we should be concerned about payment times from our large suppliers and, perhaps they might be our slow paying suppliers, and also understanding our cash flow, of course. If we're taking on staff, what do leave entitlements mean for our businesses? Getting a really solid handle on these things is so critical for small businesses, and having this good structure and baseline financial knowledge is just critical to run a day-to-day small business.
Absolutely. So where does that begin then? How can people take steps to bridge this gap?
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm really, really passionate about is making sure that small business owners are connected with a trusted advisor. And now what I mean by a trusted advisor is an accountant or a bookkeeper or both. Some research that Intuit commissioned recently was really interesting, actually, because it said around 44% of female small business owners actually relied on their parents or their family for financial advice. Now, I need to be really careful generalizing here because my dad's a financial advisor and, of course, an amazing source of advice for my brother and I and all of the things that we need. But this stat is kind of worrying because it is easy to get this stuff wrong. And so, in my opinion, the 2 most critical elements that can help small business owners everywhere is to make sure you are helping your business with a cloud accounting platform, and that will also help you to connect with your trusted advisor, so your bookkeeper and or your accountant.
Oh, so that's really good advice, and such simple steps as well. Overall, what does need to be done to improve financial literacy for Australian women, and I guess help support and empower them to make financial decisions for themselves and their families?
So I think we really need better knowledge in our schools that really empowers our financial decision making at that time when we leave school, we're thinking about leaving school and going out into the big world to be grown-ups for the first time. I think it's, important to understand that, for example, doing cashies is not only illegal but robs you of some superannuation down the track, which, as a late teens person myself, when I was there, I didn't understand the implications of any of these things. We really need to understand, especially as women, that what our exposure to financial risk is. If we ever, for example, go on to partner or take time out to have children, or goodness knows, we might decide that our romantic partnership is no longer serving us. There's some really serious financial implications of a bunch of these decisions, that especially young women need to be empowered to navigate with confidence. And of course, that all starts with knowledge. And in my opinion, this financial empowerment really has to start in school.
Yeah, absolutely. As they say, knowledge is power, and the importance of educating people from a young age on what is a very difficult topic to navigate at the best of times. Shaye, lovely to speak with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problems. Thanks for having me.